Picture yourself standing in the middle of an ocean of people, tens of thousands of voices screaming at once, lights blinding your eyes, music pounding through your chest. And in the middle of all that chaos, someone on stage suddenly stops. Not because he forgot the lyrics, not because of a technical glitch, but because his eyes caught something no one else around him had noticed. He saw a little girl, and in a matter of seconds, a world-famous idol, known for razor-sharp choreography and a stage presence that could set an entire arena on fire, turned into someone so gentle, so human, that the video of that moment brought thousands of people around the world to tears just from watching it on their phone screens. Yes, this isn't fiction. This actually happened. And today we're diving deep into the moment that sent Jimin's name trending worldwide again. A moment that millions of ARMYs say proves exactly why they fell in love with him, not just for his face or his voice, but for his heart. If this is your first time on this channel, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because we bring you deep dives into the K-pop moments that go viral but rarely get told the way they deserve. Alright, let's get into it. All of this happened during one of the biggest stops on BTS's World Tour. That night, a massive stadium was packed with tens of thousands of ARMYs from every corner of the world. Some of them had flown thousands of miles, saved up for years, just for one night, just to stand as close as possible to their idol. The very front row, right against the barricade, is always the most coveted spot. That's where eye contact with a member can actually happen. That's where those small, quiet hopes fans carry with them, to be seen, to be noticed, to feel recognized, even for a split second, have the best chance of coming true. And standing in that front row, that night, was a little girl. She was noticeably shorter than everyone around her. So short, in fact, that her face barely cleared the top of the barricade. To an average viewer, she probably would have just blended into the crowd. One small detail lost in a sea of people, but not to Jimin. In the middle of his performance, while he was moving along the edge of a stage, greeting fans one by one with that familiar smile of his eyes paused for a moment. He looked down toward the barricade and noticed a small child, practically swallowed up by the adults surrounding her. For most people, this might have been a tiny detail easily missed in the noise of a concert that size. But for Jimin, a performer who, over the years, has built a reputation for noticing the smallest details in a crowd, this small moment became the turning point of the entire night. Without hesitation, Jimin walked toward the edge of the stage, moving closer to the little girl. And what he did next wasn't in any script, wasn't in any production run sheet, and definitely wasn't planned by any member of the production team. He took off the jacket he was wearing on stage. Take a second to think about what that actually means. A stage jacket isn't just an ordinary piece of clothing. It's part of a costume specifically designed for that night's performance. Chosen, fitted, and worn as part of the idol's visual identity in front of tens of thousands of people. But that night, all of that symbolism and styling seemed to mean nothing compared to one simple thing: making a little girl feel seen, feel noticed, feel special. The moment fans nearby realized what was happening, the atmosphere at the barricade shifted instantly. Many of them surged closer, hoping to be part of the interaction, to catch it on camera, or just to be as close as possible to their idol in that instant. Honestly, who wouldn't want to be standing right there as a small piece of history unfolded? But this is where we really see who Jimin actually is. The crowd pressing forward ended up squeezing the little girl between the bodies of the adults surrounding her. In a situation like that, in the middle of the overwhelming excitement of a concert, that kind of crowding can be genuinely dangerous for a small child. Just imagine it, grown adults pushing forward in their excitement, deafening music, blinding lights, and one small child caught right in the middle of it, far more vulnerable than anyone around her. And Jimin noticed. Instantly, he paused his original plan to hand over the jacket right away. With a firm but calm gesture, he signaled to the people around the little girl to step back, to give her room. It's not like we haven't seen idols chase a cute viral moment without a second thought for the safety of the fans around them. But that night, Jimin's priority was crystal clear. Her safety came first, and only then could the sweet moment actually happen. Once the crowd eased back and gave her space, Jimin finally handed his jacket to the little girl. The videos that circulated afterward captured something truly moving. She held onto that jacket tightly, as if she couldn't quite believe what had just happened to her. Her face, which had been full of excitement moments earlier, softened into something more overwhelmed, her eyes welling up, and soon after, she was visibly crying. Not out of sadness, but because the emotion of it all had simply become too much to hold in. Try to imagine being in her position. At such a young age, she probably didn't fully grasp the scale of who had just given her that jacket. But she knew one thing for certain. She had just been noticed, personally, by someone performing in front of tens of thousands of people. And that's an experience she'll likely carry with her for the rest of her life. After handing over the jacket, Jimin didn't just walk away. He gently patted the top of her head. A small gesture, full of warmth, like an older brother comforting his little sister, before turning back to rejoin the rest of BTS and continue the show. What's remarkable is that this entire sequence, from the moment he first spotted her to taking off the jacket, realizing the danger of the crowd, resetting the situation, and finally handing it over safely, all happened in a matter of seconds. In the middle of a fast-paced, high-energy performance, Jimin still found the presence of mind to think clearly, act quickly, and show real, deep care. This wasn't just some cute fan moment. It was tangible proof of an extraordinary level of social awareness and empathy, a quality not everyone has, let alone under the pressure of performing in front of tens of thousands of eyes. It didn't take long for this video to spread across the entire internet. Within hours, clips of the moment were being reshared by thousands of fan accounts, spreading across platforms, from X to TikTok to Instagram to countless K-pop community forums. The comment sections filled up with reactions that were almost unanimous: awe, emotion, admiration. Many fans wrote that this moment reminded them exactly why they chose to be part of this fandom. Some called Jimin an angel with a heart to match. Others wrote at length about how the fact that he protected her before giving her the gift revealed a character far deeper than just a sweet onstage gesture. What made this moment even more special was how different it was from the usual. Plenty of idols do sweet things for fans. A smile, a wave, occasionally tossing out merchandise. But what Jimin did that night carried a much more complex layer. He had to read the situation, make a split-second decision to protect a child's safety, and still follow through with warmth, all while performing live in front of tens of thousands of people. Some fans even started comparing this moment to similar things Jimin has done before. Because, believe it or not, this wasn't the first time he's shown this kind of gentleness toward young fans at his concerts. If you look back, moments like this aren't isolated incidents. Throughout his years with BTS, Jimin has become known as one of the members most consistently attentive to the youngest fans who show up to his shows. At other points during the same world tour, fans were moved by similar moments. There was a night when Jimin spotted a little girl crying in the crowd, and without a second thought, he took off the hat he was wearing and had it passed down to her through security, gently telling her not to cry as he did. That video went viral instantly, with people deeply touched watching her expression shift from tears to a wide, joyful smile the moment that hat reached her hands. There was also a night at another stop on the tour when Jimin paused just to acknowledge a young fan holding up a sign with a heartfelt message, giving her a personal response that felt genuine, not like a rehearsed stage gesture. This pattern keeps repeating, from one city to the next, from one country to another. And that's exactly what convinces so many fans that Jimin's kindness isn't some carefully crafted image for publicity. It's simply who he is, consistently, no matter where in the world he happens to be standing. What's interesting is that ARMYs often joke that Jimin has some kind of built-in radar for spotting young fans in a crowd of adults. Somehow, from way up on a massive stage under blinding lights, he always manages to find those small faces, and he always makes time to give them a little extra attention. Now, you might be wondering, why does a moment this small carry so much emotional weight? Why can a video that lasts barely 30 seconds make thousands of people across the world tear up watching it? The answer is simple, but it runs deep, because this moment reveals something we rarely get to see from someone as famous as Jimin, a kind of vulnerability and sincerity that feels completely unforced. On stage, Jimin is a world-class performer. His movements are precise, his voice powerful, his presence enough to light up every corner of a stadium. But in that instant, when he stopped everything for one little girl, all of that stage grandeur seemed to fall away, replaced by someone deeply, simply human, someone who genuinely cared, who was full of empathy. For a lot of fans, this is a reminder that behind every massive achievement, behind global fame, and the crushing pressure of the entertainment industry, there's still a real person with a soft heart, someone who can still pause, just for a second, to make sure a little girl feels safe and happy. And for that little girl herself, imagine years from now, she'll always have the story to tell. The story of the night, she went to a concert, and one of the most famous idols in the world stopped everything, just for her. That's the real power behind moments like this. It's not about how expensive the jacket was. It's not about how viral the video went. It's about how one small act can create a memory that lasts a lifetime for one person and inspires so many others who simply witnessed it happen. Moments like this are exactly why a fandom as massive as BTS's has managed to last this long and keeps growing year after year. It's not just about great music or stunning choreography, it's about the genuine emotional connection between the members and the people who support them. That night, Jimin probably wasn't trying to create a viral moment. He was simply reacting naturally to what he saw. A little girl who needed to be noticed, who needed to be protected, who deserved to feel special. But it's exactly that sincerity that ended up touching so many people, reaching far beyond just one night in one city. If you're one of the armies who's rewatched this video over and over, tearing up every single time, you're not alone. Thousands, maybe millions of people out there feel exactly the same way. And that's the quiet magic of moments like this. They have a way of bringing people together across different backgrounds, different countries, different languages, all united in that same feeling, moved, and proud to be part of this journey. So, what do you think about this moment? Is this one of the most touching things Jimin has ever done? Or do you have another favorite moment of his that hits just as hard? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading through every single one. If this moved you the way it moved me, hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next story, and share this with a fellow army who needs to feel this warmth too. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. See you in the next one.